Welcome back, everyone. Ready to dive into some fascinating stuff today.
Always ready to explore new linguistic territory.
Right. So, you know those synonyms you sent us?
hmm
That list is like a gold mine. I was looking it over and, well, it just struck me. Synonyms, you know those words that mean the same thing?
Yeah,
Well, they're like secret weapons for better communication.
absolutely.
But it's interesting, right? We often think of synonyms as like perfectly interchangeable. Just swap them in and out, no big deal.
Right.
But looking at this list, I'm starting to think that might be a big missed opportunity.
It really is, yeah. You hit the nail on the head there.
Like, check this out. Bribed and suborned. They're both about getting someone to do something for you, but suborned just sounds way more intense.
Oh, for sure.
Or how about danced and waltzed? Both involve moving rhythmically, but waltzed paints a much more specific picture.
Exactly. And that's the magic of synonyms. They might share that core meaning, but they often carry different feelings,
Yeah.
Different levels of formality, even emotional weight.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between saying someone talked versus someone chatted, or if you're feeling happy versus feeling elated.
Totally. Elated just sounds so much more, I don't know, joyful.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's dive a bit deeper here.
Love it.
We've got this idea that choosing the right synonym can really supercharge your message, make it more precise, more powerful even. But isn't there a risk, though? Couldn't you accidentally sound like too formal? Or maybe even use the word incorrectly if you're not super careful?
Oh, that's a fantastic point. And you're absolutely right. You've got to be mindful of the context. It's kind of like, well, think of formal language as a tailored suit, It's impressive in the right setting, say a job interview or a fancy dinner, but
You wouldn't show up to a barbecue in a suit.
exactly, it just wouldn't fit. You'd be overdressed. The key is understanding the context, the situation, your audience even.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to use super technical jargon when chatting with friends, right?
Right. No one wants to feel like they're back in school being lectured at.
Exactly. So yeah, context is everything when it comes to choosing the right synonym.
Okay, so let's get practical here for a second. We've got this newfound knowledge about synonyms, how they can spice things up.
Yeah.
But how do we actually use it? How can we make these synonyms feel natural, not forced?
That's the goal, right? To make it sound effortless, like you've always had this amazing vocabulary at your fingertips.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think a good starting point is to focus on a few words that really resonate with you. Words that you find interesting or exciting.
Okay.
And then try weaving them into your writing, your everyday conversations. Experiment a bit. For example, instead of saying, he ate the cake, maybe it's, he devoured the cake.
Devoured is so much more vivid, right?
It is, right? It just adds that extra oomph to the sentence.
It does. But I'm wondering, is there a risk of overdoing it, though?
Good question.
Like, would it sound weird to say, I devoured my morning coffee?
You're right. That does sound a bit odd, doesn't it?
Right. It's like too much, too early in the morning.
Exactly. Devoured works for the cake because it implies that kind of joyful, almost, I don't know, enthusiasm, like you just couldn't resist. But for coffee, you might say something like, I savored my morning coffee, to emphasize a slower, more appreciative experience.
Oh, I like that. Savored is perfect. Okay, so it's really about painting a picture with your words, choosing synonyms that evoke the right feeling, the right image.
Precisely. It's like you're an artist and your words are your brushstrokes. You get to choose the exact colors and shades to create the masterpiece you envision.
Love that analogy. It actually makes me think back to that presentation I gave last month. I bet I could have spiced things up with some well-chosen synonyms.
You probably could have. Instead of saying, our team did well, imagine saying, our team triumphed. Same basic message, but
Triumph just sounds so much more impressive.
it does, doesn't it? It evokes a sense of accomplishment, of shared victory even. And that can make a big difference in how your message is received.
Oh yeah, definitely. So to sum it all up, this whole deep dive into synonyms is really about unlocking a whole new level of communication, right?
That's it. It's about recognizing the power of words and using them strategically. And really, it's about understanding those subtle shades of meaning that synonyms offer and using them to your advantage.
Love it. So any final advice for our listeners out there who are ready to level up their word game?
Absolutely. My biggest tip would be Pay attention to the words you use regularly, just everyday words,
Yeah.
And then ask yourself, are there synonyms that could add more depth, more color, or better reflect my intention?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe even keep a running list of new words you discover and try them out in different situations. See what works, what feels natural.
That's a fantastic tip, and I think that's a great place to wrap things up. We've covered so much ground today, from the subtle nuances of meaning to the power of choosing the perfect word. So, dear listener, what word will you choose today to add some extra spice to your vocabulary? Go out there and have fun experimenting with language.
That's what it's all about. Enjoy the journey of discovering the power of words.
Until next time, happy wordsmithing, everyone.
Happy wordsmithing.